I have the honor of speaking to Miss Joanna Oakley.
Yes, sir. You are Martin Jester's messenger.
I am. That is to say, I am he who comes to bring you news of Martin Jester. Although I grieve to say I am not the messenger expressly appointed to do so.
Your look is sad and serious. You seem as if you would announce that some misfortune had occurred.
This is the saddest errand I ever came upon. There is much to impart, and if from all that I have learned I cannot, dare not tell you Martin Jester lives. I likewise shrink from telling you he is no more.
Oh, there is a hope then. There is a hope.
I ought to tell you who I am so that you may consider what I have to relate to you. My name is Geoffrey, and I am a colonel in the Indian Army.
I am much beholden to you, sir.
I must begin by asking if you are aware under what circumstances Martin Jester went abroad.
I'm aware that a quarrel with his uncle was the great cause, and that his main endeavor was to better his fortunes, so that we might be happy and independent.
And were you further aware of what sort of adventures upon which he embarked?
I know nothing further. We met at this spot, and we went away. We parted the gate, and we have never met again.
Allow me then, Miss Oakley, to share what it was which so much inflamed the imagination of Martin Jester.
Please.
There came to London a gentleman with a well-authenticated report that there had been discovered in one of the small islands near the Indian Ocean a river which deposited an enormous quantity of gold dust in its progress to the ocean. Mark attended a preliminary meeting wherein he was told if were he to join the expedition, he would share in any subsequent proceeds. Destitute but enthusiastic, Mark readily embraced the opportunity. Among the adventurers on the chartered vessel was one Lieutenant Thornhill, with whom Mark developed a remarkable friendship. It was from Thornhill that I received my information.
Suspicion already crosses my mind.
I myself was aboard a vessel, homeward bound from India. Less than 50 miles from land, we sighted a dull red light toward the horizon.
A ship on fire.
Yes, we steered toward it and began to hear the roar of the flames. The vessel was doomed. Long before we could reach the spot upon which it idly floated, a bright shower of sparks rushed up into the air. Then came a roaring sound, then all was still. The ship had disappeared and the water had closed over her forever.
But how knew you that the ship was Mark's?
Though we had seen the ship go down, we kept our course, hoping to pick up any of the remaining crew, which we had presumed had managed to escape the burning vessel. We found only one, a man clinging to a floating piece of the wreck. In 10 minutes, the man was on board.
Lieutenant Thornhill.
Yes. He was, of course, exhausted. But several days later, he told me of the expedition and of Martin Jester, with whom he forged such a strong attachment. Some time before the vessel went down, Mark begged Thornhill to call upon a young lady named Joanna Oakley, the daughter of a spectacle maker in London. Should Thornhill be saved and Mark perish?
Oh, Mark! Mark!
When we reached the River Thames, Thornhill showed me a string of pearls he was to present to Joanna in his name. He left 3 days ago with this string of pearls to find out where you reside.
I never saw him.
No. From the inquiries I've made since then, it seems he disappeared somewhere about Fleet Street.
Disappeared?
Yes. He can be traced to these gardens, and from here to a barber shop owned by a man named Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
You know him?
I know of him.
I visited his shop and left it most impressed by his peculiarities. Indeed, Thornhill had been there, said Sweeney, but left after a shave to go seek you out.
I am left without hope. Mark is lost to me forever.
The fate of our friend seems indeed to rest upon a very slender foundation. I fear that those precious pearls have figured in shaking even that tenuous base.
So it would seem, but what are pearls to me? We might have been poor, but we should have been happy.
Miss Oakley, I ask that you meet me here again on this day in a week. I have resolved to discover what has become of Mr. Thornhill, even though that you care so little for the string of pearls, which he has entrusted for you.
I do indeed care little for them, if anything at all.
Still, they are yours. You are so occupied with grief that you quite forget such strings are of great value. I have seen those pearls myself, Joanna, and can assure you that they are in themselves a fortune.
I suppose it is too much for human nature to ask for two blessings at once.
You will meet me here again to hear if I have any news for you.
I will endeavor to do so. I owe you my best thanks as for the kindly manner in which you have detailed to me what is past.
Remember that I bid you adieu in the hopes of meeting you here again.
Excuse me, miss. Be you the proprietor of the shop?
Charlotte. No, sir. Only a working girl I am.
Then can you direct me to the gentleman who is?
I'm afraid I cannot, sir, for no gentleman owns this shop. Nor a gentlewoman either.
Edith, stop being clever. I'll be Mrs. Levitt.
Not from around here, are you?
Not recently, no.
Hungry, are you?
A bit.
Friends?
No.
Money?
None.
Lady?
She whom I loved is false.
Oh, pity. You ain't a bad-looking one for all that. Go away. We never give to beggars.
I'm not a beggar, ma'am. My name is Jarvis Williams.
Indeed. Charlotte says you want to see me. I'm Mrs. Levitt. I own this shop.
Mrs. Levitt, I do not come to ask alms of you, but to know if you could recommend me to any employment.
Recommend you? Ragged wretch, leeching off of others.
I am a ragged wretch, and moreover, quite destitute. I frankly tell you that I would seek for something better if I could, but who would employ one presenting such a wretched appearance as I? It is only some common and ordinary employment I can hope to obtain, and that made me come to you.
Fortune smiles upon you, lad, for just recently have I lost my baker. Insolent young man he was, lazy and ungracious despite my best efforts to preserve him. He has gone on to some of his very oldest friends, who will be quite glad to see him, I'm sure. Well, I don't see why we shall not make a trial of you at all events. I will shortly take you down to the bakehouse and show you what needs to be done. You must live entirely upon the pies, unless you'd like to purchase for yourself anything else, which you may do if you can get the money. We give none, and you must likewise agree never to leave the bakehouse.
Never to leave it?
Never, unless you leave it for once and for all. Now, are you willing, or are you not, to take the situation?
My poverty and destitution consent if my will be adverse. I quite understand I leave when I please.
Oh, certainly. We never think of keeping anybody many hours after they begin to feel uncomfortable.
I am thankful for a shelter. All the brightest visions of my life have long since faded away. I have no friends, no money, and not a relation who would turn his back upon me. It matters little what now becomes of me.
I understand your words. How quickly do those worldly aspirations dissipate in the night air? We wake up one morning only to discover that they have quietly departed, helped along by some thief in the night. If you're ready, follow me.
She's gone.
And the young man with her.
Another new cook whose likes we'll never see again.
But what of Skinner?
Went to see, she said.
They all go to sea.
Never fancy this one, do ya?
Got a soft heart for this kind. Not a penny to his name, no one to turn to, no girl, no family.
Easy on the eyes, too.
That he is. Leaflet does a bit of cleaning up.
Fat chance of that happening. She's got that hellhole downstairs.
Maybe this one won't sail away.
Shut your gob, Edith. We're drifting away again. Come on now. She'll be up soon.
And each crust will thus be manufactured just large enough for one pie. The flour will always be let down through a trapdoor from the shop, along with everything required for making the pies but the meat. And that you will always find ranged upon shelves, either in lumps or steaks, in a small room through that door. It is only at particular times you will find the door open. Whenever you do, you had better always take out what meat you think you will require for the next batch.
I understand all that, madam, but how does he get there?
That is no business of yours. So long as you are supplied with it, that is sufficient for you. The finished trays of pies are then let out to the shop through the same trapdoor I showed you before. And now I must leave you. As long as you are industrious, you will get on quite well. Remember your duty. I remind you that any attempt to leave here will be as futile as it will be dangerous.
except with your consent when I relinquish the situation.
Oh, of course. Everybody who relinquishes the situation goes on to some of his oldest friends, whom he has not seen perhaps for many years.
Indeed.
Farewell, lad. Enjoy the pie.